and welcome back to Sarah's Joyful Journey. I'm Sarah Joy. Today we will be talking about a subject that brings me joy. It is not necessarily related to my health journey or my health goals, but it is something I am passionate about and I enjoy. Today I will be showing you my teacup collection. I have been a collector for a long time now, well over a decade. I got inspired because my mother used to collect teacups and we moved around so many times that she lost the teacup collection along the way or had to get rid of it or other various reasons. So it was a fond memory that I wanted to do. Hopefully she'll be starting her teacup collection soon. Things are still going, she's having a rough road, but that's all right. I have a couple teacups and things in there for her for when she gets settled in her new place. Once she gets her current living situation all settled and she has a place that is more permanent, I will be sending along some things. But I wanted to show you my teacup collection because I've just started increasing my collection again after not adding any pieces to it for almost 4 years. Right before we moved to Florida, I stopped collecting or stopped adding to my collection, not stopped collecting. I stopped adding to my collection and I didn't start adding it until the fall of this past year in 2023. But I enjoy it and I do focus on one main brand of teacups. I collect predominantly Royal Albert. There are some other teacups in my collection that you will see that have special meanings or were gifts, or I just loved that and decided to add them to my collection. There are some pieces you are going to see that I will be telling you that they are going to be leaving my collection because that right there is my tea cabinet. And I have a limited space in it and I have some new pieces coming, some of which should show up today. I don't know if they will make it into this video, but they will definitely make it into a future video, even if it's only as a short. All right, well, let's get started reviewing this teacup collection. Here I am getting ready to make my cup of tea this morning. And since this video is all about my tea collection, I figured I'd start with this one. This is the teapot and teacup that my daughters got me a few years ago for Mother's Day. Those of you who know me know I absolutely adore Winnie the Pooh. Eeyore is my favorite, but I like all of Winnie the Pooh. And I love that this has got pink and it's got cherry blossoms on it, and on the inside, it's pink. It's literally my favorite. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this cup real quick and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. These are stored in a china cabinet, but this one just was a little dusty, so I wanted to rinse it out. I will show you the plate as well. It's so cute. And it is Disney, of course. And what was really cool about this is my youngest daughter, Emma, found it and purchased it from a shopper in Japan. So this came to me from Japan. So in here, I have my ultra spice tea. I am going to sweeten it with my salted caramel because I really enjoy that. And I'm also gonna go ahead and I'm going to add my keto brains. I know this is not carnivore, but it's also not dairy. And it's Sunday. And I'm just going to enjoy a little bit of this creamer in my tea because I'm okay with that. You may hear Ghost down here. He's chewing on his bowl. He did get fed. We've both had a really long night. The neighbors didn't really sleep, which as a consequence means we didn't really sleep. He got up and stayed up at 3 a.m. this morning. So I was supposed to work, but I got smart and decided there was no better way to use a sick day and sick pay and just stay home. so I can rest and chill. So there you have my cup of tea in my beautiful Winnie the Pooh set. I'll come back in a little while. I will show you the tea cabinet and our other tea cups. Before I get too far and totally forget, I should show you this teapot as well. You've seen this one in the background of a lot of my stuff because this one resides here on my countertop. I have used it for tea in the past. However, it was just purchased as a decoration. It's beautiful and I love it. It's huge. This is a Pioneer Woman. I have had this teapot, I don't know, about 7 or 8 years now. And I just adore it. It's kind of hard to get my whole china cabinet into one shot, but this is my china cabinet. It ended up inadvertently being a gift. The person who I held onto it for never came and got it after many years, even after I notified them that I was moving. It's not the greatest piece. There are some damage to it, and I did repaint it. The repainting I did 5 years ago. It probably needs to be done again. It doesn't look fabulous in most places, but that's all right. That will be a project for another day. So it has 4 shelves, and as you can see, it is all pretty full. So here's a close-up of the individual shelves. I will start going through the individual pieces that are inside the collection. And yes, I do apologize for the light. It is not the best. It is a cloudy and soon to be rainy day here in Central Florida. And my apartment has horrible lighting. All right, as you can see, it's not entirely just teacups and teapots. I do have other little trinkets in there that I will talk about as well. All right, let me set up a few teacups and we'll start talking about them. All right, I figured I would start with the teacups that sparked my desire to start adding to my collection, and a fun little story about adding mugs to my collection. Although mugs are not going to be anything I collect, I am kind of, unless it's a really, really pretty one, I don't see myself adding any more mugs to these. And these mugs, depending, may find another home, but for now they're going to stay. And Ghost is down here because I've got all the china out. He's wanting to sniff it and smell it, and so this ought to be fun for me, trying to keep him out of it. Plus he knows I'm on the camera, which means he wants to be the center of attention as well. All right, so what started this is I was looking on Facebook Marketplace and I found this absolutely stunning Royal Albert. I know you can't see anything from here. It looks very plain, but once I show you the inside, you can see the beautiful hand-painted design. I am obsessed with pink when it comes to my collection. And pink is not a color I often wear. I do wear it sometime. It's a color that my mother put me in a lot. My room was pink. I had pink everything. I hated pink for many, many years. So I find it very interesting that I love pink in my teacups. Pink and florals. A lot of my collection is floral. And there's a lot that has pink in it because, like I said, it's just beautiful. To me, it just says dainty and feminine and elegant, and that's why I love it. So this is a Royal Albert that is all hand painted. I am looking for a book about Royal Albert teacups so that I can learn more about them. I know this particular cup is worth about $45. I don't know much about it. I believe it's from the 40s or 50s is what the lady I got it from told me. So I will have to trust her judgment because I don't know. When I saw that, I saw this other beautiful teacup, which will be leaving my collection at some point. It's beautiful, it's hand painted. It is a Royal Grafton that has been painted over. So it's it's an art type piece and it's beautiful and I do enjoy it. But again, I'm gonna have to make room in my collection at some point, and I think I know what I'm going to do with this one, but here is the back side of the cup and the beautiful, it's just hand painted, and it's a nod to Portland, Oregon, which is, as they say, the city of roses. So I don't know what this looked like before the artist got it. What I'm assuming is the artist has hand painted all these flowers and put that title on it, quite potentially. It could have been just a white set, but I don't know. But it is lovely, and I will eventually find a home for it. The lady that I got this one from gave me the two for the same price. And then she also had this mug collection. The mug collection was a little bit bigger. I have found homes for some of the pieces. Some of the pieces in here are also going to my mom, but she was so sweet, an older lady, very, very kind, very, very nice. And she offered me these mugs for $2 a piece, and I couldn't say no. So I have 2, 4, 6, 8. I think there were 12 mugs. I found a home for some. So this one is really pretty. Again, it's that pink that I've got in it. And then it has the little bit in here. This is by Queens. So it is part of a collection. It's really pretty. I love this. So this would be considered more for like coffee and stuff like that. So that's the first one. Then I have this beautiful one. This one is going to my mom once she gets settled. My mom also collects birds and loves things with birds. So when I saw this, I knew I had to send it to my mom. So there's the front of the mug and then the back. There is no painting in this one. It does show a little bit of wear on the handle right here from use, which is fine. I do use some of my collection. If it has significant meaning or is super old or super valuable, I do not use it. This one is a Hammersley. Here's another one in this collection. It's really pretty. I love the florals. I wish I had a ring light because it would show it better. Like I said, I apologize for the lighting. It is rather dark in here today. And this one is a Duchess, and this one is Spring. So it's bone china from England. This one I really like. I like the shape of this one. And again, it's got the pink, which is just so pretty to me. There's something so classic about the pink. So that's the front of the mug. And then there's the back of the mug, which I kind of like this about these mugs is a lot of them do have double graphics on them that are matched or slightly different. And I like that some of them have them on the inside. This one does not. This one's in pretty good condition. This one has less gold on the handle, which I also like, and it's in decent condition. This one is King's Court. This one is made in India. For my collection that I purposefully collect, I do try to stick with stuff that's made in England. It's just a preference. It's just a way for me to limit my collection, because I could easily collect, just have a random collection, which is fine. If you're a person who wants to have a random collection, that's not a judgment. For me, I like things to be a little bit more orderly. I like to try to stick with one brand if at all possible. But I'm a sucker, as you can see. I have teacups that are not in my collection. I have mugs that were not something I wanted to collect. But this one is beautiful. I am also thinking of sending this one to my mother because she adores roses as well. This is just like a cute little one that I like. This is Royal Grafton, which is the same as the Portland rug, the Portland Roses mug. Okay, this one is a Queens. It is hydrangeas, which I think are some of my favorite flowers. I just enjoy them. I enjoy the colors. I think they're beautiful. They've got that purpley pink that I love. And it's got a little one up here. This is by Queens. And ironically enough, it doesn't have any gold on the handle at all. This one is just around the rim. This one is one of my favorite mugs. It's a Royal Kindle, and it's by it was made in Stratford, England. But this one is going to my mother. It's just, the birds are so pretty in combination with the pink flowers. Royal Albert has a teacup that is very similar to this. Obviously it's not identical, but it's got one of these birds on it and some flowers. So that one I might add to my collection at some point. I have it favorited on my Etsy, just because I do like this one a lot. And then the final mug I have is Crown China. Here's the back side. So it's roses and then roses in the front. I like this first one right here because it's got the pink and the purple. Purple is my favorite color, as you can see. Well, it probably looks like it's black, but I'm wearing a purple top today. So there is that mug. Next, I will grab another cup that is going to my mom and the most expensive cup in my collection. And then we will pretty much have cleared the very top shelf of my collection in my china cabinet. A couple of these were on lower shelves, but they kind of go with this story. So I will put these away and reset and be back in a moment. So I grabbed the other two teacup sets from the top shelf. The first one I'm going to show you, I got this last week. It's beautiful. It's gorgeous. Totally right up my alley. And it will be going to my mother. But there's more to that story. This is a Royal Albert. So it's beautiful. There's the saucer. So this is a Royal Albert. It's from the Gaiety series, and this one is called Tango. It's so pretty. Well, this comes in color variations. And I loved it. And then I started saving the color variations so that I could collect the whole collection. Well, I found someone selling the whole collection at a very reasonable price from Canada, and it included this one in it. So that one has shipped and is on its way to me. So when I showed the picture to my mom, she goes, I love that. It's beautiful and would have been something that I would have collected. So I am sending it to her. It's got the hand paint inside and the gold rim. This one, I believe, is from the 70s. It could be from the 60s. Again, I don't know too much about the stamps. I'm wanting to know more about the stamps. I just decided a long time ago that I needed to pretty much limit my collection to one brand and focus on that, because then it kept me from having a bajillion different teacups where I could say, oh man, I could really get in trouble. And I can still do that with Royal Albert. They're quite extensive. This next teacup is also my most valuable teacup, and it will be at some point leaving my collection. My mom likes it. I might send it to her. I don't know if I want to send it to her. I haven't decided entirely what I would like to do with this cup, so it is going to stay in my collection until I do. It is a brand that I've always wanted to have one of, and it's beautiful. And I love it, but it's not quite my style, but it is stunning. It's an Ainsley. I got this cup in a lot of teacups. I know it doesn't look like anything from here, but when I go ahead and I show you the saucer, this one happens to be hand painted and signed. There's the saucer, and there's the teacup. This one I got from a lady who was had some teacups in her collection that I wanted, and she was selling everything as a lot. I think there was like 18 or 20 cups in it, and she was selling the lot, I think, for $40. So it was a ridiculous, fabulous deal. And it was worth it for me to buy the collection because I had another purpose for some of the collection. And when I pulled this one out of the collection because she didn't have photos of everything, I was stunned because it is an Ainsley, and Ainsley are highly collectible. And I knew that, and I used my intuition and realized that this one seems like it could definitely be worth some value. So I looked it up and I found others very similar in this that ranged from $150 to $500 for a teacup and saucer. I could not find for months, because I got this one in November, I believe, for several months. So November, December, and all of January, I looked regularly to see if I could find it. At the end of January, I found someone on Etsy selling this exact mug for $225. So it is currently the most valuable teacup in my collection. Most of my collection I have bought for between $20 and $50. More so now as teacups have gone up, but you used to be able to find a teacup and saucer for $15 to $20 pretty regularly. Now they seem to be right around $35, seems to be the average, which is fine because, like I said, I collect for my purpose. I collect what I like, and I do use my collection from time to time because it's just fun to sit down and read a book and have a nice cup of tea. All right, so now I'm gonna go put those away and we'll start working on shelf number 2. So I have the next 6 pieces ready to go. we're gonna start with the only 5-piece setting that I do have. I think I want to try and purchase over the next year or so. I would love to add 3 more settings and have a service for 4. I have the quintessential, everybody pretty much knows this pattern if you know Royal Albert, and that is Old Country Roses. So I'll show you in better detail in just a moment. What makes this a 5-piece setting is that you have the teacup with the saucer. I bought this in North Carolina before we moved. It ended up at a thrift store and it was decently priced. I think I paid $100 for the place setting. It might have been a little less. I don't remember exactly. It's been 6 or 7 years. But it also includes the dessert plate. I believe they call this a salad plate. And then we have the dinner plate. And it still has, which I need to clean off of it, but it's funny, it still has the residue from the sticker on it. I should really go ahead and get that off. I have not yet eaten on this set, mostly because I had it valued as being too precious to use. But I am coming to realize that if it's precious, that's the exact reason that I need to use it. I need to enjoy using it instead of just having it sit in my collection. So that is my first and only 5-piece set. Like I said, I do want to add to the collection and hopefully get a 4-piece setting of china. I would like to have a couple 4-piece of china, so we'll see. And then, because I've always wanted china, and I have a pattern that I do not have in my collection that's Royal Albert that I absolutely adore, and it's very desirable, so it's rather expensive. So I don't have any of it, but I would love it if I could get even just one 5-piece setting would be amazing. The next mug I'm going to show you happens to be visually my least favorite mug, but happens to be one of my most precious because a friend of mine who happened to be a former pastor's wife went to an auction and knew I loved teacups, knew I loved purple, and she got this unique and different teacup for me. So this is it. I'll give you a better look at it. What I do think is really cute is the little feet, and it's all hand painted. This is by Napco. Some of the teacups I got and the lots that I got were Napco, and they're stunning. They're beautiful, but it's not my style. And there's the tea plate. This one does show more wear than I personally would have put in my collection, but again, I had no control over that. This is a gift and I love this person dearly, so that teacup definitely stays in my collection to remind me of them and how sweet and kind they were to get that for me. The next ones, I bought, the first one I'm going to show you, I bought in North Carolina. It's not Royal Albert, but it was the most stunning and beautiful cup I had seen, and I'm obsessed with it. And then I found another one, and there's a third one that I have my eye on Facebook by this brand that I am very much considering. It's this beautiful, beautiful cup. I'll show you in better detail. This is a Tuscan, and it's the sunshine pattern. It's this beautiful pink with tiny pink roses. I'm sorry, the glare is just really bad. It's hard to get up close of this pattern. That's pretty decent, where you can see the beautiful little tiny pink roses, little bits of green, and then just the hand painted gold leaf on it. Last time I checked, and I haven't checked recently, this cup was worth about $50. And I love that it's got this intricate lacy detail on it. I have drank tea out of this cup one time. I would probably do it again because it's in excellent condition. And like I said, it's just gorgeous. Again, it's the pink, which I'm obsessed with. And I think after you finish seeing all of my collection, you will understand that I am totally love pink. This one is a Demitasse, and I got it in the same lot that I got the Ainsley. I don't normally do Demitasse, but hello, it's pink. It's a pink background with pink flowers, and what is not to love about this? This one doesn't have a collection name on it. It just has a number. So we got that cute little tiny cup. So a Demitasse. I'm not quite sure what Demitasses were for. I've heard something about stronger teas. I've heard something about coffee, but I don't know that much about them. All right, this next one, again, is another Royal Albert. I think for the most part, I have two other cups in my collection that are not Royal Albert that you'll see in a moment. So everything is pretty much gonna be Royal Albert. So it's this beautiful pink and red roses. There's the saucer. This cup is so pretty. I like that it's got the one design here on the front. It's slightly different and smaller on the back. And then this one is also painted on the inside of the cup. So it's really, really pretty. Let me just move things around carefully so I can grab this next one. This next one I think is from the 30s or 40s. It's really, really pretty. I would love to have more in this set. I would love to have the teapot and to match this set. But this is called Blossom Time. and I'll take it down in just a moment so you can get a closer look and explain why I love this. You'll notice on this channel, a lot of my graphics are apple blossoms. This is a nod to my knitting days. Apples were my favorite fruit, and I love apple blossoms. I love the pink. I just adore it. My very first knitting pattern, which was published in a calendar and entered into a contest, won me $500. It was called Apple Blossom. And that kind of spurred my knitting design career, was Apple Blossom and more. I don't design anymore. It just got to be a lot of pressure and I was losing joy in knitting, so I stopped. But I have this beautiful teacup and saucer, which I want to find. The lady that I got the mugs from, she had this, and so she gave me this. I would love to find more like this because it's beautiful. I love the way that it holds the saucer and the teacup together, and you can see both pieces really, really nicely. So here's the front of the teacup. And I love that this one has a design pretty much all the way around it. And I think it's really cool because it just has the blue sky here, and I love it. Everything's lined in gold, and then we have more of the blossoms in there. So it's really pretty. It's definitely one of my favorites. I have had tea out of this one as well. I will probably start drinking out of my collection a little bit more, especially with some of the ones that are coming today, which again, I don't know if we'll end up on this video or not. All right, I'm going to reset and we are going to move on to shelf number 3. So we've seen about half my collection right now. All right, I am back with the items that are on shelf 3. This shelf also includes other collectibles that have been gifts to me, so you'll get to see some of those. The first one was a Christmas gift, and I have used it in a prior video, and it's beautiful and I love it. Came from my friend Nancy, which is this gorgeous, gorgeous platter. It's pink. That's all I gotta say is it's pink. It's beautiful. I love the open work and the scroll work, and it's gorgeous. So I have used that in a video to display fudge and other things on. And I'm hoping to do that with some of my other pieces when, excuse me, once I get more parts in the collection. I'm going to take a quick pause and I am going to go grab something to drink because I haven't had any water today and I should probably do that. I'll be right back. All right, I didn't grab water. I ended up grabbing a Celsius. I usually have one of those a day, so I have that. The next thing that I'm going to show you came from my mom via my grandmother. They are Irish lace doilies that were made in Ireland, and I have 3 of them. So they're really, really pretty. If anybody happens to know more places where I could get some more Irish lace doilies, please comment down below and let me know, because these are beautiful. I absolutely love them. And yes, I'm sure I could figure out how to make them. I am quite crafty, but I don't want to. I do not want to take on any more new hobbies. I will stick with my hobbies that I currently have and love. For those of you that don't know, I am a knitter. I spin my own yarn. I weave. I can crochet. I don't do it very often, but this is a different type of crochet, and I'm not entirely sure I would be all that interested in it. It's rather fiddly, which is fine. It's just not for me. But if you know someone who has, whether it be a shop on Etsy or some kind of place where I can buy more of these, please do comment down below because I would love to get more. That pink teacup, the Gaiety one, when I bought it, it came with this beautiful handkerchief that's cross-stitched. It's absolutely stunning. So I love that. So that was a cool, unexpected little gift add-on. Excuse me. It's also allergy season here in Florida. The pine trees and stuff like that are blooming. And that's one of the trees that, well, as my doctor told me, I'm allergic. If it's a tree and it grows outside, I'm pretty much allergic to it. Thankfully, my allergies are better here in Florida than they were in North Carolina. North Carolina, they were awful. And most of the time, I don't need to take allergy medicine here. It's just a little bit of annoyance. All right, this next one is a little jewelry box. This one came from my mother. I don't remember this, but my mom says I used to want to play with this all the time when I was a kid, and I probably did. I just don't remember. So it's got butterflies, which is another thing that my mother loves, with the birds. And it's heart-shaped, and it's got the little printing on the side. So I do enjoy that. It's one of the few pieces that she had been able to keep out of her collection because it was small and easy to pack and could move along with her pretty much wherever she went, which was sometimes often just her grabbing a bag, and that's all she had. So for her to hang on to this for as long as she did, and for her to give it to me, meant that it was super meaningful. I had thought about sending it back to her, but honestly, I'm not going to. I'm going to keep it in mine, which is fine. She'll be totally cool with that. Okay, next I'm going to show you another non-Royal Albert cup that I do enjoy. This one I am thinking is not going to stay. It's going to be easy to see why I gravitated to it and I wanted it in my collection. So here is the saucer. I love the pink and the simplicity of it. This is Taylor and Kent. It is English bone china, and it's really, really pretty. It's very simple, but I love that simplicity. If I'm correct, this is also from the 70s, maybe even the 80s. So it's a vintage piece, but it's very pretty. And I like the simplicity inside with just the gold. So for now, it's in my collection. It will probably leave my collection when I need more room to add more pieces. This next one I also got here in Florida and found it on Facebook Marketplace. It is really pretty. I believe it is part of a series, and then I believe there's other color variations. I haven't looked too far into it yet, but I love the shape of it, and I love that it's yellow. It's so pretty. I love the shape of the cup and the saucer. I love the scalloping. This is very reminiscent of a lot of Shelley china. So this is Royal Albert. I'm gonna show it on this side. And it's called the Garden Party series. So yes, it is in a series, which means now I'm gonna have to go find those and look for the other ones that match this, because I'm going to want all the pieces from it, or at least a teacup and saucer from it. It is Autumn Sunshine. So the cup, so pretty. I love the gold. I love the scalloped. It's just very dainty and precious, and I love the inside. I might have my evening or afternoon tea in here. We'll see about that later. Next, I will show you this one. It's a little farther over. This one is called Brigadoon, and it is from the 70s, and it was very popular in the 70s. And my reason for picking it is it's very special to me for other reasons. I love the book series Outlander. I have been reading it since I was 16. I have read it multiple times, with the exception of the last book, which I've only currently read once, which as soon as I'm done with the current series I'm reading, I will probably start rereading that series because I love it. But it's based in Scotland. So I love that Brigadoon is thistle. And so it reminds me, it's a nod for me, it's a reminder of that book series that I love so much. So you have the inside of the cup and then the detail on the outside. This one, I have seen teapots for this one pop up. I wouldn't mind having a tea set in this. I have 2 tea sets in my collection, neither of which are Royal Albert currently. I do have something coming today. It is my first Royal Albert tea set. I'm super, super excited. I have not got into collecting teapots and tea sets yet because they are a significant investment for me. We're talking typically in the range, a teapot alone could be $150. I was able to get mine on sale. It is brand new. It is going to be one of my first brand new pieces of Royal Albert. I have never bought brand new. Everything has been vintage or basically used pieces because that's what I could get. So I'm excited about that. But I would love to have the tea set in here. So that would be the teapot, the creamer, and the sugar holder, which would be awesome to have. All right. The next 2 I'm going to show you, well, I'll show you this other one first. 2 of them are in a series and I like them. I need to figure out if I like the whole series enough to collect the series, but we'll get to that later. This one I believe is called Dogwood. Yeah, this one is Pacific Dogwood. So there is the Pacific Dogwood. So it's really pretty. I've got the saucer. I love the detail right here on the handle. It's just delicate and gorgeous. This one is similar to the one they did for Brigadoon. So I'm thinking this one, that one I'm pretty sure is from the 70s. So this one is also probably from the 70s as well. I don't know, again, I don't know for sure. Hopefully this week I did find a book about Royal Albert and I do want to get it on Amazon. That might be on my list. But there's Brigadoon. You got your big one on your front, a smaller version on the back, and then the little nod on the inside. I do like these next 2. I think this series is like 12 or 14. It's quite a big series. It is called the Summertime series. So here's that first one in the Summertime series. Again, it's all the pink flowers, the pink roses, which roses are some of my favorite ones to collect. But I also think that roses are also probably the most popular item on a tea set anyway. So there's that. This one I also suspect is from the 70s. So it's basically as old as me, or a little bit older than me, and I'm 45. I was born in 78. So there's that. And then you got the back. And then the inside. I have had tea out of this one as well. There is one in that collection that is another Scottish Thistle. It's a different color variation, and it looks different than Brigadoon. So that one I know will end up in my collection at some point. The one I saw on Etsy was $60, which is pricey and has to be well thought out before I actually purchase it. Not that I don't mind spending the money, but I just have to balance it and weigh it with everything else. All right, then this is the second one we have in that series. Here's the plate. This one is very almost fallish to me, and I really enjoy that too, or late summer. I think kind of late summer into fall, because you've got the little bits of the brown and the yellows, and it's just very, very pretty. So there's the front of that teacup. Then you have the smaller one on the back and the one on the inside. So that is shelf 3. I will go put those away and I will grab shelf number 4. All right, we are back with the final shelf. I am not going to show you the Winnie the Pooh teapot and cup again. They also reside on this shelf, but you will have seen that earlier in the video. So the next one you're going to see is my first, and currently, because the other one hasn't arrived, tea set. So I found this in a thrift store in North Carolina, and it is super pretty. I love it. It's beautiful. I like the rooster. I believe this might be transferware. I have used this teapot quite a bit. It's not an old piece because it's microwave safe and dishwasher safe, but it's still pretty. But it will be leaving my collection soon because I have such limited space currently in my cabinet, and I know this year I would like to add probably 1 to 2 more tea sets for a total of 3. Teapots has been something I have wanted to collect for about 6 or 7 years, and I have allowed the expensive price tag to stop me. And I'm going to change that this year because they bring me joy, and I do want to have them. I have seen some videos with people that have ginormous collections, and I think they're beautiful. I will never have a collection as big as some of the ones I've seen, but I still want to have a collection of pieces that mean stuff to me. So I have this teapot. It has the creamer, which I have never used. And it also has the lidded sugar bowl, which again, I have never used. I think I just came up with an idea of what I want to do with that. I'm not going to say anything because it's for something that's going to be in the future, but I will set that aside, and I think I know what I'm going to do with it. All right, the next one is the only other one that is in my collection that is not Royal Albert. It was a gift. It was a gift from a friend, and I've seen this trend before where people take china and they add art to it and refresh it and make it new. This china is Minska, and it's a newer china set because it is oven to table and dishwasher microwave safe. But it's really cute and I like it. So it does stay, again, because it's a gift. So there's the set. The true beauty of this set comes when you look at the plate. It's Alice in Wonderland. So it says down the rabbit hole. And of course I work at Disney and I love Disney, and Alice in Wonderland was definitely one of those classic movies that I enjoyed. So it has that. And then on the mug, it does say drink me. I have not had tea out of this one but it is definitely one that I will probably start having tea out of regularly because I think I can say I've officially kicked the coffee habit. Mostly. I still have some iced coffee protein powder, which is fine. I'm good with that. I like the flavor. I like caramel macchiato keto chow as well. So those will stay. But for the most part, I drink hot salty and hot element, chocolate element, and tea. And it works quite well for me. I've gotten to the point where I do try to delay my caffeine. So I either have like an herbal tea in the morning, or usually it's just electrolytes, chocolate electrolytes hot. This next one is the first set I started collecting. It is not currently complete. There is 6 sets in this collection. I have found the remaining 2. It's one that I had all these pieces before I left North Carolina, and then the process of moving to Florida was both exciting and traumatic, and it took me quite some time to recover from everything for that and get back to wanting to collect. Like I said, I went just over 4 years of not adding to my collection. So it's nice to be in the spot to do that. All right, before I show you the tea collection, I will show you the one and only doily I've made. Please don't judge it. It's not awful, but it needs to be starched and blocked correctly, and it's not, so it doesn't look that fantastic. So this is a doily I've made. You can see that it's kind of crumpled right here, and that's just from needing to be starched and blocked. And I did this several years ago. I should probably get some more cotton and make some more doilies. This one was fun, but it definitely needs to be starched and blocked properly. So I do have that one. All right, so let's get started with the teacup that started this current series of collection for me. Are you all that surprised at this point? You shouldn't be. This collection is from the 70s, and it is called Blossom Time, and this is Apple Blossom. What was cool is I found this Blossom Time before I found the other Blossom Time. This is a newer, more modern version of Blossom Time. Very different, even though the 2 series have the same name. So I love, love, love the pink apple blossoms on it. I have drank tea out of this particular set multiple times. I do need to go ahead and at some point replace this cup because it's supposed to have pink around the top. And this was one of the first pieces I bought, one of the first teacups I bought. And I know better now to look for making sure that it has the pink rim on it. So eventually I will buy this one again. I just, and then this one will be one that I'll drink out of all the time because I won't care if anything happens to it because I'll have the actual one for the collection. So it's got the back, the beautiful pink handle, and the apple blossom in the center. Maybe in the next couple weeks, I'll replace that one. So that's cup number 2. Cup number 1. Here is cup number 2. That's the front. This one, again, is lilac. I believe this is lilac, yeah, lilac. Which, again, purple is another one of my colors. I should probably add more purple to my collection. It's not really that represented in my collection, which is funny because it is literally my favorite color. So there's that. And then you can see here that this one does have that, it's a little harder to see, but this one does have that purple rim all the way around. I love the scalloping. I love the detail here. So we have our main one, the smaller one on the back, and then the one on the inside. Cup number 2. Now we're gonna go into cup number 3. Make sure I'm holding this the right way. So this is cup number 3. This is Orange Blossom, which is kind of fitting now that I'm in Florida, but I didn't get it when I was in Florida. It would have been a good one if I had, but I do love it. I love the green around the edge. And then we have, this is the front, which I think is pretty cool because it extends into the smaller one off to the side. They all do that a little bit. You can see it more in like the apple blossom. So it continues off into the side a little bit. It's just so pretty. And then there's the inside of the cup and the back side of the cup. So the remaining two are on their way. They are coming from Canada, so they are taking their sweet time getting here, which is fine. This one I really like. When I bought it, it did come with a freebie and have a teaspoon. So this is my first teaspoon in my collection. I do want to add a couple more here and there, just to kind of for decorative purposes to round out how my cabinet looks. And this is currently the final one that I have in this series, and it's yellow. And this is Labyrinium. So there's the saucer. And here is the teacup. So it's really, really pretty in the inside. All right, so there you have it. That is my teacup collection. I know this video is quite long, so I am going to go ahead and end it here. I do promise that I will come back and I will show more videos of me adding to my collection so that for those of you that are interested, you can follow along. If you like this type of content, be sure to hit subscribe as you will see it fairly regularly. If you want to follow along on my health journey and how I have changed how I eat and how I live to rededicate my health and reclaim my health and reverse several metabolic diseases that I've had, also please like and follow this video and hit that subscribe button and notification bell so you'll be alerted anytime I upload a new video. Well, you have a wonderful and joyful day, and we will chat again soon. Bye for now.